I want to do is give you guys a clear idea of why we do this, because people have more value when they understand the why of things. All right.
Yeah.
So the reasons why this is set up the way that it is because, again, as we're growing our businesses, whether it's online or offline, the mindset stuff will always show up. It just does. So what we have to do from a high level, and write this down. This is so critical, more than you know. You ready? It is, you've probably heard this before. So before I say it, please don't say I know that, because how do we really know if we know something? If we live it, then we know it. Anything else is just in our head. I challenge you to just say Fred's a liar. I don't believe this shit. But it is literally be, do, have. Please write that down. I promise you, I'm going to ask you to write this down for a reason, even if you've heard it before. Be, do, have. How many of us have heard this before?
First time I heard it was on yesterday or Tuesday's call.
Okay. So, what that phrase is missing is context. Here's the problem why we're missing context in that phrase. If you don't clearly define what you want up front, then how can you be the person you need to do the things that you need to do, to have the things that you want? When you go back and clearly define things, that's why I'm so big on a dictionary. What that dictionary does, think of it as like a magic spell book. You open it up, these are the words that people agree to over the course of time. And then I go back to the origins of the words, and you can see when that word originally started and what it was before and what it is in context now. And
Mm.
then I look at the trend of the word to see how fresh is that word. And I'm going to give you guys a perfect example of this, because it's just going to blow your mind if you just take this time, a little bit of this time every single day, as part of your morning ritual, as part of your morning formula. It will change your life, because the problems that we have as entrepreneurs is that it hasn't been clearly defined. The problem that we have as entrepreneurs is that everything that we do is multi-layered. Doesn't matter if you call yourself a coach, a consultant, an expert. If you aren't working a 9 to 5, then you are an entrepreneur. Now, is that an invented definition? Yes. I made that definition up because when I was training people, what I discovered was, and this is going back into our conversation Tuesday when I was talking about Robert Kiyosaki. Matter of fact, let me pull that up, and then I'll be more than happy to take some questions on this. But when I was working to do some Robert Kiyosaki stuff, before I even heard about Robert Kiyosaki, I heard about Laura Langmeyer. So Robert Kiyosaki came up with Rich Dad, Poor Dad. A lot of people know who he is now, but back in the day when he was just getting started, Sharon Lecter is his silent partner. Did anybody know that? Maybe except for Gloria, because Gloria kind of runs in those lanes. So Robert Kiyosaki created this ESBI quadrant. And a lot of people don't know this about Robert, because Sharon tells the story, Robert doesn't, but that is literally his silent partner. Sharon started out Rich Dad, Poor Dad with just a brochure.
Hmm.
Right. But getting back into the context of Laurel Langmeyer, because all of these gurus know each other, just to get that clear, there's always going to be different waves of gurus. I'll give you another example. When I was in Black Hollywood, I was hanging out with Kim Kardashian's sister Courtney, Nick Cannon. That's when Kevin Hart had just started. Tyga, Carly from California. Like, some of these names you've probably heard, and they're huge names, right? Right. But they all came up together, and they all had their little separate villages and tribes. And they all shared each other's lists and events and things that were going on. And that's why Nate Dogg was singing that song, Every Little City She Goes. Like, it's the same people. And even when you see people being cast in the same movies, it's the exact same people. That's why, because there is a frequency in how they think. And even though they may have separate bank accounts and they may have separate lifestyles and they may have this and that, and they may not be together, the reality of it is they all come together for that one purpose or that one function. Okay.
Mm.
So that's really how I look at Thursdays for us, is more like a core driven, hey, what do we really want to talk about? What are we really working towards? Why are we really working that way? That's the first thing. But the second thing that I discovered, because a lot of y'all don't, maybe some of you didn't know, but I was helping people get off of hard drugs for like the last few months. $55 million facility, baller as fuck. I mean, you just can't get any better than that shit. But the point is, what I discovered there was that even no matter how much money some of the multimillionaire students had, they all lacked purpose. All of them. That was the 100% common thing. Doesn't matter if they inherited mommy or daddy's money. Didn't matter whether or not they earned every single dollar from the ground up. Doesn't matter if they were third generation shoulder to shoulder entrepreneurs. That was the one thing they all had in common, with an age range of 19 to like 54. That's the one common thing. I've literally, Nathan, saved you about 34 years of pain and trouble just from that one statement.
Yeah.
That's how powerful that is. Now, the question is, do you buy that? But that's a question for you to answer. But what I discovered was, and also what I really understood was that success is immediately simple. And we've been trained to over-engineer everything. So to Gloria's point, there's a lot of things that, she wants to do, I want to do, and the mission wants to do. The question is how, and Namisha just brought it up. She's like, well, I thought I quit my job and I was going to have more time, but I actually have less. That is another common phenomenon, because we get this spike in our time, and instead of just covering it up and going, oh shit, I got my time back. No, 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 no. Learn that word. Oh crap. Like, mine, right? And then what happens is we get that time creep back, because nature abhors a void. That's why. It's no different than anybody here who has driven a car. You try to create space in front of you. Let me know if this has never happened to you. You try to create space in front of you, and what happens? Another car.
Some stupid guy comes in and sneaks in, and I'm like, that's my stopping space, and you just came in there. Who are you? Yeah, that happens.
Exactly. So that's really how this whole game works, even in our minds. So we don't know who we want to be, or how we want to be, or when we want to be, because there's certain times you need to be certain people, right?
Yeah.
That is the problem. So we have to be able to delineate and identify these things up front before we can do anything else. Period. Is there anybody want to add to that, or is this new information, or is it something you've heard before?
For me, it's fairly new. So kind of like, I mean, I get it. I get it. Like it makes perfect sense. It's just kind of like now trying to put the pieces together of like, who is it that you want to be? Because I think that's kind of it's a tricky question. It's such a big question, right? There's so many different angles and answers. It's just kind of big. And so trying to chunk it down is, I think, what's going on in my head right now.
So instead of saying there's so many angles, how about there's only one angle that's right for me at this point in time?
Yeah, I like that. I like that. It's more precise.
Because that way, what happens, Nathan, is that you start shifting your mind. This whole life, from what I've discovered, and everybody has their own reality, is that it is a game of biases. Perfect example. Whatever car you drive, as soon as you go get a new one, you're going to see that exact same car because everybody else has it.
Yeah, yeah. Reticular activator, right?
Correct. Reticular activator.
And I'd like to add on that, because so just based on our conversation from the other day, remember we were talking about the ad and how do I find my ideal audience? And you were like, well, you said custom home. And I'm like, did I say that word? I know I said new construction, but did I say custom? Maybe I did. I don't know. But I kept, talking. Just this morning, and I've been thinking about it over the last couple of days. This morning, I got a Facebook listens to everything. I got a Facebook ad that Toll Brothers has a new development in Lake Mary. So it's my perfect location, because that's where I want to sell. Toll Brothers does custom homes. The price point is exactly where I want it to be. So I'm like, wow, they're bringing what I want right here to me. So now I know that's what I want to sell. So my next ad, that's what I want to focus on. Right. So just like what you just said, I mean, we talked about it. I'm like, okay, this is where I want to be. This is my custom. So I guess now I have to figure out the audience that will match the home, but that would probably be the next, right? I don't know, the next piece of it.
Yeah. Here's what I want to acknowledge. And then I'm going to go into something that me and Gloria were talking about. I want y'all to say this out loud. Facebook is my magic wand.
Facebook is my magic wand.
Facebook is my magic wand. It's a pen.
Whatever I say happens.
Whatever I say happens.
Whatever I say happens.
Seriously. because the way that this technology is designed, that's how ads are ran. So you're going to start getting ads that are served up the more that Facebook listens to you, because it even listens to you when your phone is off. That is actually baked into the firmware. Yes, it's true. Short of you having what I have, I don't know if I have the
I
bag on.
need a skip in my house.
Well, it's all over. That's been around since 1996, even when I was trained at that high level to understand all of that stuff. So it's it's not going anywhere. But there's a special bag that I have that's like $13 that you can get online, where if you really don't want to be tracked, you can just put your phone in there. Somebody can call you right next to it and it won't pick up. It just carries all the ways. It's called I think it's called a Faraday bag or something like that.
Yeah, give me that
On
bag.
the
What is it?
bag, where is it?
Where is it? Faraday bag? Let's
Yeah,
start
it's called a
selling
Faraday
that.
Yeah.
Please
Yeah, I know,
call
right? Hey, look,
Add it
this
to your
is
affiliate page.
yeah,
Yeah, I
right.
want to do that.
Yeah, real talk. I mean, but that's how crazy my mind is, because I knew to get that from day one as soon as they became available to the public. I've had one since 2016. It's Farrady. So let me see if I can find it online real quick. But I don't want to.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't want
never
to
mind.
digress too much. I know that just kind of blew everybody's mind.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a whole different conversation. That's
Let's
what
go back to
I originally
Facebook
knew.
is a magic wand and it'll do everything that I tell it to do. Let's go back
Correct.
there.
That's why we have to be mindful of the words that we're uttering, because thoughts are things. And once we put them out into the world, now we have something that will not only record it, but it will serve up and add to it.
Yeah.
Let that sink in for a second. So there's no reasons why, if you're truly focused on what you want, you write it down like we just practiced, and you actually start saying it. Not only will you start working on really manifesting it, but Facebook will help you with their ads. What a unique concept. That's how you can just literally, you want to change your Facebook feed, start talking about what you really want.
It's true. It's so
wanna-
true, because like I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but that's what happened. We had that conversation, and then it wasn't just Toll Brothers. There was like 3 or 4 other new construction companies that were just like blowing up my feed. And I'm like, these people that are listening to me. So you're right. I'm going to speak all the magic that I want in the world, because it's going to come true.
That's why I'm not putting this on that platform. This will be in our private section, because this is part of the secret sauce, Gloria. Legitimately, this is part of the secret sauce that I was wanting to get you to understand yesterday, but I wanted to reveal it here. And I'm gonna say one more thing, and then I want Gloria to go into something that we talked about, if that's cool with you guys. Any other questions or thoughts before I jump into the quadrant real quick? Okay, cool.
Following.
Cool. So let's jump into this quadrant real quick. ESBI. If you've never seen this before, this is Rich Dad, Poor Dad quadrant. E for employee, self-employed, business owners, and investors. Has anybody not seen this before? Has anybody seen this before?
I've seen it before.
Okay, you seen it before, Gloria?
Seen this before many times.
Cool. So I'll start with you as an example. What's your understanding of this quadrant?
Exactly what it says right there. Left side, right side. Rich dad is on the right side. Poor dad is on the left. And the ultimate that anyone who wants freedom of time and money to be in is the I investor side. Bottom line. The mindset is,
I'm sorry, go ahead, Gloria. I want to cut you off. I want to make sure we get
I was
that.
saying the mindset is in that fourth quadrant there.
Okay. Does anybody else have any agreement on that, disagreement on that, or any other thoughts?
No, I think it's pretty spot on. I think it's also kind of sequenced, right? It's not going to be the same for everybody, but for a lot of us, you start off as an employee, then you move on to self-employed, business owner, investor. So there's kind of like an order to things. Of course, you can skip around. There's no path necessarily to take all the time, but it's kind of how things tend to work, and at least in my experience.
Okay. Wifey, were you able to get your microphone back off or on? Are you still here? Are you able to speak now? Okay. How many of you have actually played this game?
I have one time. Well, wait, do you mean like the board game?
Yeah, the board game.
I bought the board game, and well, what I wanted to do was create like a in-person, and I don't know, quarterly meeting or monthly meeting where I could play with other people and help people kind of understand this. So I read his book, I think when I was I don't know, 18, 16 or 18. And I loved it. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And, you know, that was part of my, initial interest into getting into real estate and to, you know, getting into the industry of real estate and mortgage. And, you know, then it transitioned into insurance, but, life kind of gave me a different set of paths to follow, but I'm back now.
Okay.
And then recently, like I had bought the game. But it's a long game, so I wasn't able to finish it. So,
All right. So just a winning formula is that I actually ran ads to a real estate investment club for this, and we filled the house so much that they had to bring seats, and that was in excess of like 60 people. So there's a lot of people who want to play this game, Misha. So you can even get real estate investors, and Gloria, that's why I'm sharing this with you as well for the stuff that we're doing with Emmett as an example. We can easily have passive income people coming through. And also people who are interested in real estate in general.
yeah.
That's a highly successful thing that works. It's usually with word of mouth, and then you can, okay, she's saying that she can hear. So Gloria said something very profound, and she said something to the extent of, because I don't misquote, but the goal is to become an investor, period, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you play this game as a board game, this is what I've observed. What I've observed is that you still can be an employee and have passive income. You still can become self-employed and have passive income. You still can be a business owner and have passive income. You still can be an investor and have passive income. You still can be an investor and not have passive income. There's the total opposite of this as well. You still can be an employee and not have. You follow me? Like, we have to understand holistically the data sets themselves. But my point in bringing that up in the context of why I originally brought it up was that when you understand the power of Facebook and how I just showed y'all in real time, and Namisha co-signed on it, how we were able to get her ads not only hitting, but she also started getting more relevant ads for her market, which is making her become more creative on demand. You understand that the languaging in these 4 quadrants is essential. If you want to be a business owner, you have to learn business owner language. If you want to be self-employed, you have to learn self-employed language. If you want to be an investor, you have to learn investor language. And if you want to be an employee, you have to learn employee language. It's not that simple. It's not that obvious. Otherwise, everybody would do it and they wouldn't be confused. That's why there's 97,000 searches per second on Google, because people are looking for something that I just said, just like that. That simple. That's the first point. The second point is the problem with this is that it makes it seem like there's some ascension, to Gloria's point, where everybody needs to be an investor. Okay, great. If that holds true, and again, I'm not here to invalidate anybody's reality. My challenge to you is to test it. This is what I've observed, because I've traveled literally for 20 years talking to people in all 4 of these quadrants. So my big aha moment was that I had to discover these different languages in these different quadrants for people to have breakthroughs. And what I discovered was that I was talking to business owners on the right side here who were stuck in employee language. And because I heard that, I could coach them up to business owner language, because I talked to enough real business owners with a capital B in order to do that. Same thing with self-employed. Self-employed are the most frustrated people on the planet, because they can see what a business owner looks like and they can see what an employee looks like, and yet they want to be an investor. So they're like, ah. and then people who are real investors, to Gloria's point, they're at the top of the game, the catbird seat of the box, and they just pick people off because they can just see the board, if that makes sense. So once we understand how to facilitate our dream by clearly defining it, then you can really identify what quadrant you're truly in. Because you may be a business owner, but if you're speaking like an employee, you're going to do employee things, period, because your mind's already wired like that. So you have to unwire it and then rewire it through practice, drill, and rehearse. Like, it's like you have to, just like when you learn softball, you had to hit enough softballs. I learned how to play ping pong. I was on YouTube learning how to play ping pong. You know, I played the drums. I had to learn how to play the drums. I'd never learned how to read music, but my point is I performed and I did really, 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 really well. You follow me? So even then I was missing steps. So when you really understand like the logics behind what I'm saying, no matter what you're doing in life, you can just make those pivots that people get stuck on just by thinking through things like that. Does that make sense, or is that a little weird in what I just expressed?
No, I think it makes sense. Everything builds on each other. So, you get what you speak about, what you focus on, what your thoughts of, like everything is just in alignment. And so therefore you end up getting that outcome, right? You end up getting the business owner outcome, the employee outcome, like whatever it is that you're talking about, discussing, that's what you manifest.
So
I
I
guess
want
it's
two
like
more
a
minutes,
thought.
Nathan. I want two
Okay.
more minutes, and then I want Gloria to jump in, and then we'll take what you have to say. Because
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
really want, and I really appreciate you talking, because again, you set the stage really nicely, because it helps me calibrate my conversation. Well, what I want to be able to do is just define one more thing for us, and then I want Gloria to go into some stuff that we talked about also. Because Gloria, one thing I love about her is that she's a master facilitator. And when she facilitates, it is just so freaking on point. I've never seen anybody do it in my life like that. Seriously, Gloria. Quote me on that. Shout that to the roofs all day long, because you're just that amazing with it. So if you had to choose one word right now that you wanted to focus in on being, what would it be? Write that down. If there's one word that you had to focus in on when we leave this room today, what is that one word? And I'll go around the room on that. So when you thought of it, just shout it out.
Decisive.
Got it. And put it in the chat too. Decisive if you can. If not, no worries.
All capital letters.
Got it.
I say focus.
Okay. Anybody else?
An executionist or an executioner.
Okay. And Regina just said, just do it. Okay, cool. You know, the problem with this exercise is, even though I got you guys to focus in on one specific word or an idiom, because Regina said, just do it, we're still missing one layer. And Namisha says calm. And Gloria says freedom. Okay, so you're getting closer, Gloria. So just add the words to your sentence. Add these two words. So that. So as an example, Gloria said, I want to be, where is it? Decisive. So is it so that you can have freedom?
Yes.
Now, how did I guess that? It was literally a guess. I didn't read her mind. And listen carefully to what I just said. I couldn't assume that. It was a guess. This is exactly how advertising works. We have to add those two words, so that, and I hit the target. Decisive, so that I can be free. I got a wow over here.
And you got a double wow over here.
No, appreciate that. That's exactly how marketing works. That's exactly how advertising works. That's level one stuff, guys. If I can get you guys to really practice that for a week, it's going to change your life. It's going to change your financial status. It's going to change your career. It's going to change your path. And you're the one that's doing it, not anybody else. Now, let's get back to be, do, have. I want you guys to get the idea of how you already are in the future. That person that you want it to be. Because that is the target. That's what we're truly training on with the freedom ladder, is really going to your future self, but you already have to be your future self. You already have to put energy there for your future self. So if you don't have that one word that's clearly defined, so that you can get to your future self, which is free in this case, which is calm in this case, and put another so that there. So you're going to run out of so that's, and then you're going to truly identify what you want. That's how you really do it. It is a step-by-step path that you have to take and you have to have up front so that you're able to do it. And one more thing, and I'm going to give you a perfect example of this. Snap response. Please don't overthink this, because people overthink this all the time. Are you ready?
I am.
All right, you ready? All right, raise a hands. How many of you want to be rich?
All of us.
Yeah.
Okay. So how many of you are already rich? You
Dan,
sure?
raise your hand.
You sure?
Yes.
This is not a trick question. Are you sure?
100%. Yeah.
Okay. So why are you so sure, Nathan?
I'm sure because of what I've already been blessed with, because my mindset's already in that place. Because I know that I can achieve what I have in mind. Um, doubt sometimes, but I believe it. So,
Okay, so I
yeah,
want to stop you right there. I want to stop you right there. Thank you. I want to stop you right there. Do you think you're guessing or do you know?
I know.
Okay, how soon?
Um,
See, that's a communication lag right there. It's taking too long.
mm,
That's because you haven't clearly defined it.
okay.
Brings me to my next point. And it's nothing wrong with this. Like I said, we're open. This is what coaching is truly about on a very high level.
Right.
So guess what we're going to do? And I'm going to go over it the way that, of course, nobody shares it because they don't want you to know. Rich, strong, powerful, great, mighty, of high rank. That's truly the definition of being rich.
Mm,
I didn't say anything about money.
no.
It's not the same thing.
Yeah, it's not.
So if you can say, hey, Fred, I looked up in the dictionary today and this is what rich means and this is the exact definition, guess what? I didn't hear it. If
Yeah.
you're already rich and you've already worked through these processes, so if you don't feel on a scale of 1 to 10, you're strong. If you don't feel on a scale of 1 to 10, you're powerful. This is all the mindset stuff. If you don't feel on a scale of 1 to 10 that you're great or you're mighty, and this I'm going back to like the basic original definition of what rich meant, not the current one. I'm talking about this one goes back to like 1590s, right?
Hmm.
When wealth was really being built. These people already understood that they were rich. So what they worked to do was to monetize their richness, hence their offers, hence what they were giving to the world. Hence they created wealth. Man, we can't be running chickens around here. We need something called a currency. Make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you aren't clearly defining exactly what you want, it ain't going to happen, but we're already rich. Do you agree or do you disagree? And if not,
I agree.
to what extent? And if not, then my challenge to you. And again, that's just not even my definition. That is the definition. Period. Like that's what it is. So just take it, look at it as an absolute versus somebody else's fuckery online, right? This is how we cut through all the guru noise and all the guru bullshit is by picking up a dictionary. It's just that simple. And when you clearly define it like that with these simple frameworks that I just gave you, no one can stop you because you're going to have, just like when the mission was like talking about the ads and sure as hell it happened, the universe does that as well. The universe is Facebook is showing you what the universe really does. The only thing that they've done is that they put it in technology to make it a little bit faster. That's it. Tell me
I
I'm
agree
right.
with you 100% on that. And you know what's so funny is like I remember before, the internet was what it is now. If you were to say like they're listening, they would think you're crazy. But the universe is listening. But they would put you in a mental institute if you said that out loud before Google and Facebook and technology was like listening to everything that you said. And that's all I'm going to say on that.
No, 100%. So, Gloria, the floor is all yours. There are some things we talked about yesterday. We talked about organization and strategy and also what the future looks like. Because I do want to talk about Financial Empowerment Institute and like what specifically you need. I also know like Nathan wanted to talk about like the newsletter and stuff like that. Nathan, I promise you we'll get to that. And then Namisha, we already handled what was going on with you as far as like the ads, and you're starting to see a little bit a different trajectory now. Because that's all that we can do, guys, is measure the trajectory. And that's the reasons why the Freedom Ladder set up the way that it is because that's what that's designed to do. It's designed to measure your trajectory. That's why it needs to be quantifiable to a certain extent. Like me and wifey on Sundays, every Sunday we go over what needs to happen for the next week, period. And we include all of you in it because that's because we are the tribe. So we're looking for other people. And on Tuesdays, what I'd like to do is to get more people into the private one. I mean, like the actual group one. This
Okay.
right here is us. This is just for us. So if you want anybody else to come in here in exchange for that, they're either going to really bring something to the group or they're going to have to pay. Because people who pay attention. So we've already shown enough consistency. It's February right now. And that's what I was looking for. Like, who's consistent enough to really drive a wedge between all the bullshit and fuckery that's online and really get some shit done? That's all I care about. So, Namisha, I want to, I'm sorry, Gloria, I want to turn it over to you, please.
What exactly should I be addressing now, Fred? We spoke about so many things yesterday. Anything specific?
Yeah, what's on your heart right now?
Getting shit done.
So that
I can be free.
So that
I can be the philanthropist I want to be.
So that
I can amass. No. I can continue to strengthen my inner being so I can be that essence of richness, moment by moment, second by second, unfreaking stoppable, to do everything that's in my heart so that I can live freely, free to be, free to act, free to inspire myself and others. Yeah.
Now, how powerful was that, y'all?
100%.
Do you think that should be her brand
1000%.
message?
Yeah.
Do you think that will attract the right people and make the wrong people stay away?
Yeah.
Yeah, it will.
Was it clear enough?
Yeah.
It was.
That's pretty cool.
Okay. Now that we've demonstrated that, I want Nathan and Jalen, I want y'all to do that as well for your brand message. Because what I'm going to do is take what we just did with Gloria and build it out. And then she'll have her brand message for Financial Empowerment Institute. Ta-da! Magic trick. Does that resonate though?
Yeah, yeah.
Bro.
I mean, we just watched it in real time. Yeah. That's pretty crazy.
It makes you really dig deeper into yourself and question, like, why do I actually want to do what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Or why do you not want to do what you're doing?
And I just gave you a perfect example of what she really wants to be. Period. Is there anything else you want to add to that, Gloria?
I think I'm moved. And that's who I am.
Yeah.
So now everything she does in life moving forward needs to support that. Period. Now she can use discernment as to who she needs to speak to and who she doesn't need to speak to. Now she can take her personal stories, her problem, and her trauma and monetize it. And I appreciate you crying, Gloria. I'm over here with your heartfelt. I love you like a sister because you are my sister. You know, and that's what this room is really about right here. You know, us being transparent, real, and vulnerable as fuck, because other people need our gifts. Because if we don't do it, some fucking snake out there is going to just use some magic words, and they're going to manipulate people into another offer that doesn't work, and then people are going to feel like they're ripped off.
Yeah.
And Gloria can gladly charge as much as she wants for that powerful message. Now we craft it, we curate it, we put out, Nathan, this is the ads lab stuff or, PDOC stuff where we find the workhorse ads online and just fucking crush it.
Yeah.
Because people are looking for her. And it starts organically. That's why I know that this works. So if you really feel what she's talking about, and that's why I told her to go from the heart, she can get on a call right now and crush it because she's in her pure essence right now. And if that person doesn't fit her model of the world, because there's plenty of them out there, now we can go into a crowded market. She can take that message and it's going to hit. Period. Tell me it's not. I'll wait.
No, people are attracted to the real sense of who you are and what you can do with them.
100%.
100%. Gloria, how do you feel right now? Seriously, please, if you want to express that, please do. I'd love to hear how you feel right now.
I am basking in the moment of the truth that's here. And feeling safe. Knowing that's the only way to success.
Yep.
True success, not the faking and the masking. I mean, I feel this is my time. It's my time. And with the support to be vulnerable and just be, you know, the bullshit that I create up until now, Regina, thank you for the reminder, you know, that I see that I have done and who I know myself to be. You know, here I'm getting messages from my team saying, good morning, Gloria, great morning. How are you? You know, it's just, they're probably hearing me right now.
So, and that's the next step, Gloria. I mean, take again, if you have not shared or expressed this specific part with your team, you can take the elements right now that they need to hear as we're crafting your message and produce that. And then when you produce that, that is the unique message. When we talk about, Jalen, we talked about unique selling proposition. That's what this is. Selling is not a bad word when you speak your heart.
Yeah.
You need to get paid for it. And
Yeah.
I was so embarrassed to even talk about my drug use because my dumbass didn't even know what a drug was. And yet here I am this time last year, almost burning down the flipping house. And to watch that other lady in the room next door look scared, worried, confused, and nervous at the exact same time, it's a feeling I'm never, it's the second time in my life. The first time that I looked at her like that was when we got married. Like, it's just something about that passionate look, right? And then the second time I was like, oh shit, it's kind of like that look, but not that look. This is the Danger Will Robinson look. So that's like, I want to make that sure that's number 2 and gradually go to fuck down because I want to be far away from that beingness to be who I am right now today. And last night I told her that for Valentine's Day, you know, because we got whatever we want. We have a lot of shit. We don't really need anything. And it's just like what I need to give her now is my true beingness. And it took a whole year to build myself back up. And I'm talking about a lot of work, guys. I'm talking about 20 hours a day, Nathan, above and beyond what I was doing with Audience Lab, just to pull myself out of a hole and be solid again and make up for the damage. But I had to own that. You know, all the bullshit that I went through before I met her, I didn't want to take that into this next chapter of my life. I wanted to make sure that that was closed. I didn't want to bring my trauma and my pain into my business because that's what we project on people. You know, even yesterday we were watching Blacklisted. Like, we love Blacklisted. Season 10 came out. Oh shit. Okay, we're not gonna go bowling. We ain't gonna go to the movies. We're gonna watch this. And I was so moved last night because I was not in my true emotional self. I haven't been in my true emotional self since the Marine Corps because they scream it out of you and then they expect you to hold the M16A2 service rifle to kill somebody. And quite frankly, I could really easily do it back then because they scream all the emotions out of you. I used to have my notes because I've always been a writer. You could literally see the before moments, and I wish I had them. Oh my God, hopefully I still have them around here too because I did my best to save them over the years. But I was a very colorful writer. And then after boot camp, straight up black and white. That's probably why I got into the data lane because I was just so left brain. All of this shit was just cut out. Like, there's and Nathan, you know the language. You hear it. It's so super dry. And you deal with clients at that level who are so left brain, they don't give a fuck about nothing except a goddamn dollar. And they are so specific. And let me know if I'm lying, Nathan. They are so specific. You got to say, you got to go a little bit wider with your measure. They're like, fuck you. This is what I want.
Yeah.
Right, Nathan?
Talked
Tell
to
me I'm lying.
two guys yesterday. Same thing. Yeah.
Now imagine Nathan dealing with that shit every single day. Because it happens, guys. That is the very left brain of the leadership stuff. And then you've got these other, like I call you, the Cocker Spaniel, you know, always whining on this side. So
Yep.
somewhere in between, we have to discover our truth. But it starts with us going through this whole process. So Gloria, thank you so much for showing up the way that you do. Because like I said, it inspires me to want to continue to do this because sometimes I get caught up in my own shit, just like all of us. And that's why I do my best to be mindful of our time. So does anybody else, Gloria, I want to make sure I ramp this down nice and safely for you. Is there anything else that you want to add or say before we do anything else, or your thoughts?
I believe and I've come to see that my whole, what I didn't know I was creating, and created a whole empowerment brand. Like everything is about empowering, and the power that's in there to just pull out of people that's already there, but it's dormant. Yeah.
Cool. Now we got to make a pact right now, guys. Let's make a pact. We seriously have to make a pact. I plan on opening up a very private, intimate level 1 Facebook group just for this reason. Okay. And I'm going to call it the Rich Coach. The reasons why is because the people who are here right now are genuinely heart-centered people. But just because we're heart-centered doesn't mean as soon as we step out that door, the motherfucker next to us is that person. Matter of fact, you will typically attract completely opposite of you because, as you will learn, they're the parasites and their whole goal is to destroy you, even if they don't realize it just yet. Same thing with alcohol. Alcohol is a parasite. And we try to get people off of it through the detox. Sometimes you need a medical to get off of that because it will kill you if you come off of it just cold. That's how people work in real life as well. So I want that to be a very safe spot for us. We don't talk about it to anybody else outside of that. Eventually, I want to be able to run ads to that, looking for those exact same people. But what I want to do is create a safe space for coaches to have a breakthrough, just like Gloria did, just like Namisha will have. We already started working on that, just like Nathan for your offer, just like for you guys, Jalen. That's like the exchange here. Okay. That was one of the other reasons why I shifted the brand, if y'all didn't notice, from New Room Collective to iFix.marketing. Okay. That brand resonates. People like that brand. New Room is a little bit too ominous or too mystical, which is fine. That was for the higher level advertisers and marketers who are still in the group. That's cool. But I want that group to be like the entry point for people so that we can vet people out to see who needs to be at this level right here. Okay. They need to pay for this. They need to understand that they have to be a givers and a takers market to be transparent and vulnerable enough to get this done. Because without this space, guys, we got nothing. We're like everybody else out there trying to rip people off, even if it's unintentional. Like I told y'all my story before where I was accidentally ripping people off in the car business. And I felt guilty about that and I immediately stopped. So I want that to be a space that I want to invite you guys into if you want to. And I need to get a yes or no right now and why. I promise you, you will not hurt my feelings if you say no. And I'm very serious about that. All right, Gloria, I know you got to run. So you want to go first?
I say yes, 2 hands.
Okay. I appreciate it, Gloria. We'll chat later, okay? Because I want to talk about some other stuff for tomorrow.
Okay.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
See you, Gloria.
Thank you. I have another minute.
Okay, cool.
Hi,
so even, I mean, who wants to go first? Seriously, like yes or no? I'm cool with it.
Yeah. Yes.
And why?
Definitely.
Yes. Okay, Nathan, say why.
Oh, okay. So I can grow further. Like I put in the chat, focus. I changed it. I said focus so that I can have more power. Because looking at that definition of rich, there's power in there. There's a certain level of power, and that off of that is that I want to impact people. I want to meet the responsibilities that I feel like I have to my family. Right. Then that extends beyond the biological. Right. You guys are encompassing that. And I just feel like I have a duty to honor those people and to help them grow. And I feel like in terms of like joining that group, I need that. I need further progress in this regard. I mean, like this call was like a massive breakthrough. And so I mean, like I need more of that. I mean, call it greedy, but it's like, hey, I want more. You know what I mean? And it's when you get something good, I think psychologically, you just want to get more and more and more of it. So, yeah, I don't want to stop.
Thank you. I appreciate that so much. Amisha?
I agree. I say yes. And I think we know why, right? Because I also want more, and we've already started working on unlocking these keys to fulfill that destiny. And I just want to keep growing. I really respect you. I think that you came into my life for a reason. I think I came into your life for a reason too. And I think that, you know, we're going to have a wonderful success ahead of us. So I'm committed to continuing this journey, and I'm excited.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I say yes. This is exactly the kind of person who I want to be. I've always thought of myself as the person who is there for other people. That's why I do so much of the things I do, as far as when I got into sales and doing this whole newsletter thing with Nathan, building that brand out. It's because I want to be there for other people. And this is exactly the kind of room that I feel like you want to create as well, where we can have that space for people to be able to grow and be able to get the breakthroughs and unlock the success that they want in their life.
Yeah, 100%. I definitely appreciate that. Me and wifey have talked about it, and she definitely said yes to, because just because she's my wife doesn't mean that she wants to do it, guys. You know, and just because she may be not tech savvy in certain areas, that chick can still write over $200,000 worth of business per month. So she know, and Nathan's not in his head. He's watching her. He knows that she can do it. So, you know, just because we have the capability doesn't mean that we want to do it. And that was my point in saying all of that stuff. So we're heart-centered people, and that's what I said before. I'm just a giver and a taker's market. That's always been my success. But more specifically, it's time for me to grow and expand as well, and just really take those top level strategies that I learned as massive shortcuts in life that most people will never see in their life, and just really flourish and prosper with the right people. That's the key. You know,
Yeah.
there's always going to be another Go High Level coming through. There's always going to be another ClickFunnels. There's always going to be a lot of technical stuff. You know, one day data won't be good anymore, and it's going to be something else. You know, I've never defined people by their business card. I've always define them by their heart. And then you do have to have a definition, because you just saw how powerful defining things are. So my challenge to you is that even if you're picking up that dictionary five times a day, start with that. I pick it up like 30, 40 times a day. And Gloria's like, oh my God, you're just a freaking copyright. I'm like, I'm in the dictionary. Like, that's what I do. Like, you know, that's like telling a fish that they can swim. I appreciate the compliment, but it's just like, I don't know nothing else. That's how I'm hardwired though. So I don't expect everybody to be walking around here with dictionaries, you know, but that's what I do. So I want to be able to just imbue and impart these skills with people in that group. So even if they don't want to use it or can use it or unable to or unwilling at that time, at least it's there as a safe space for people to really look in and just say, hey, you know, perhaps, you know, I might not need that now, but at least we talked about it, because a lot of stuff that I'm going to talk about is going to be very evergreen. It's never going to change. You know, I will go into some tech stuff because we have to, and I'm on some next level shit, Nathan. You have no idea, bro. It's absolutely crazy.
Cool.
Yeah, it's totally insane in rooms that I'm in right now. But what I want to be able to do is safely share that knowledge with people who I know, like, and trust, because I've already bred a whole group of people over the last 3 to 4 years who have used those tools for bad, and some of them have gotten busted majorly, and they've made news majorly getting busted. Seriously, to the tunes of sometimes tens of millions of dollars. Real story. Wifey knows. She's been there. She's heard those conversations. And then I've got certain people though, and I want to mitigate against that, because again, we don't know what we don't know. But what I did know at that point in time was that I had to be very choice and select and precise with my words, because we have to grow, and I needed to grow. So I'm here at this level as well. So I want to be able to imbue that knowledge and information on you. It's going to be a very active room, because I want to use that like I use that other room. So that other room about 3 or 4 years ago, I just dumped my brain in there. Like sometimes you get like 60 posts in a day. I just went. Nathan's smiling because he knows the power of that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Nathan, if you're missing those days, that's what I'm going to bring in that group. And
Okay.
I had people say, Jalen, and I quote, this is real talk on everything I love. I had people say, and I quote, this group has saved my life. And it was more than one. And I'm talking about 10, 15, 20 people. And then when I put an offer out there, people were like, shut up and take my money. And I will give, matter of fact, like, this is what I will do with you guys. Shoot in the chat. I'm gonna create a new chat. I'm gonna do my best to ramp down the other ones, but I'm gonna create a chat just for us. It is exclusively for me to do one-way communication. I have to be super clear about that. We can talk about the other sides of the chat as well. But as I'm thinking about things, I got to get back into my broadcasting flow because that's what I used to do as a broadcaster. Like that's how broadcast stations work. If you notice, that's why they're on 24 hours a day because that's all they do is broadcasting. That's really the secret sauce, guys. If we can take the Namisha channel, the Nathan Parker channel, the Jalen channel, the Gloria channel, you follow me? We can take that as source material and just blast it out to our own individual audiences. That's how you build a mastermind from the top down. Nathan's head just blew.
Ooh.
It
Oh
flows
wow. That
exactly
is
where we're
pretty crazy.
going.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's so smart.
I used to feed the news guys. I used to feed MSN, CNN, NBC. Like, yeah. We can do that too, Namisha. I just don't know too much about WhatsApp. That's the only thing. And the second thing is that everything's on Facebook right now, platform-wise, and that's just a familiar feel. Ultimately, what we're going to do for the higher level masterminds, and Nathan's familiar with this pattern, we'll go to Slack. And this is the basic pattern. Like you have to go where most people are familiar, and then from there you want to break out into like the individual. That's why I have the Kajabi group, and then from there there's other ways to do it. But you can't break through the breakthrough there, Jalen. What's happening, bro?
I'm seeing pieces over the next few months playing already.
I'm going to give you the whole template. It's not hard. You just have to have people who you trust to help you build it out, like Wu-Tang. I'm telling you guys, Wu-Tang had it. they had the template. That's why they're all legends. And that's why when they come together, they still crush it. Because there was no animosity in that group. Yeah, the Wu-Tang template. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. See, I got a dope ass copyright over here. We gonna craft this together, Demisha.
I love it. This is awesome.
What's going on,
Misha,
Demisha?
I was gonna say, I don't know the gang signs, right? It's like this.
Okay, that's West Side. This is
Like this.
Disciples. This is Renegade Vice
I
Lord.
don't know none of
This is
them.
Star.
I'll be like,
I know all that stuff.
hey.
This is stacking. I used to do. I get look. Nathan's over there. What you doing? What you know about that, Fred? I love it. I've been all over this planet, dog. I even got just so you know, the Ritz Carlton sheet right here. This right here is gold because basically, you gotta like. Anyway, that's a whole different story we'll talk about later. But my point is, I want to be able to make this a very holistic, real group, and people can just flow to it, and it's going to be the right people. But I have to give you guys the template up front so that we can build into it. But keep this here. It has to be here because what I'm going to give you is beyond $1 billion worth of gain. Because my wife will tell you, I built $1 billion companies, and this is the pattern. So you can mark this date in your calendar if you're really serious about it.
2024.
100% that this is the day where we start tracking the results. Okay. We have to set targets as to how many audience roadmaps we want to sell. We have to actually act as if we are actually using it ourselves because that's where the breakthroughs come through. That is the biggest secret, guys, is that when you embody this, just like Billie Jean is marketing, Namisha, that was a secret to the 16 weeks. Like you had to embody what he was saying and doing for those whole 16 weeks. And what he would do is he would build on top of that. That is a secret to any real true group. Like you take the template and you embody it. But I'm also demonstrating to you in real time what it looks like so that there are no questions about it. Because the only way that you can take a picture is to take a picture. You can't sketch a picture. You got to take the flipping picture. That's why marketing is so hard for people to understand. It's like, no, marketing is something you do. Like people sell the shovels online, but marketing is something that you do. And when you're tired of doing it, then you automate it because you've done it enough. And you can create an SOP off of it. That's how it works. Yeah, bro, we're about to blow this, guys. We're about to seriously blow this thing up. And you can literally, and I want to get some targeted goals here for how much money you want to make because I've just given you the definition of rich. Now it's time to monetize that. So I'm going to take you through that. And in exchange for that, really share it with people who you know, love, and trust. And if you can't share it with people who you know, love, and trust freely, then you might be with the wrong people. That's okay. You just kind of go, yellow light. Yellow light. Seriously, real talk, yellow light. And then hell no, red light. Because you gradually have to curate your life and style it. That's why it's called a lifestyle. But if
Yeah.
you aren't a certain person who you want to be, then you don't know how to style your life.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm giving you guys stuff that you can just check as sure as gravity. If I throw this up in the ground, it's going to die. I'm giving you stuff that's real. Like you can say, oh, Fred's full of shit. No, go do this. Like you will see it. Namisha did it. She's like, oh my God, all of a sudden I'm getting told, brothers. Oh, ah! Head's exploding right now. Yes, it is that simple, but we have to get our calibrate our minds first to exactly what we want.
I think it's
Yeah.
funny too, because we didn't say those words. We didn't say Toll Brothers. We said custom home. And that's what triggered it.
It's this
So-
concept called metadata. So that's what metadata does. Metadata does looks for keywords like custom home, luxury home, custom built.
Creepy.
Am I getting a recording of this?
Nathan's
I need,
over
I
here
need
just-
this right here.
That's well, we're going to go over that stuff in the group. That's why it's going to be on certain levels. Again, like I'm going to give the free game up, but certain levels, no, they're going to be paying. And you guys tell me how much you would be willing to pay. Very serious about that because I can't charge more than what the market is willing to pay. That's always a rule, or always a rule. The gurus will say charge $7, $17. No. Sometimes if it's too low, people won't find value in it. And sometimes if it's too high, then the people who need to have it won't use it. But it needs to be a price point where it'll make you pay attention. That's the true answer.
Yeah.
Got it?
Got it.
Cool.
Yeah.
This kind of stuff is what I'm going to chop up, but I need everybody to help make enough money for all of us so that we can start really building a solid foundation for a real company and a real organization. And in exchange for that, not only are you launching your things at the same time, but you're also watching a literal billion-dollar template being built. Nathan, you saw the tail end of what I was doing over there. You watched it nearly crash and burn. I had to recalibrate everything. I'm the one who discovered Snowflake. I'm the one who created the 1730K offer. Regina was there helping build it. We scaled out from there. No disrespect or no love because we're still cool and I'm still in the chats. You know what I'm saying? So I will be back over there later. But just like I told Adam and Jesse, I got to work on this. And now you're starting to see why I have to work on this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Sure.
if I can get them prepared for you, you've got not only your own audience, but shit.
Oh yeah, they're gonna crush it. I mean, like it's gonna be like win after win after win, hitter after hitter. I mean, like it's unquestionable at this point.
Right. So that's my point though. So I want everybody to win, and we need to act as if, and we need to forgive here as well. We have to forgive ourselves because sometimes we don't know things. And we also have to forgive the people who have transgressed against us. We cannot have an energy where what happens is we don't want to give, but we do have to have a yellow light and a red light because certain people are just out to destroy you and certain people aren't ready to hear certain information just yet. I learned that from the military. It is what it is. And that's the reasons why even when I had a secret clearance and I had a pretty high secret clearance, it was still the right to know versus the need to know. Period.
Yeah.
Right now, people, certain things they just don't need to know. We're in building stage. Namisha, I talked about I want to build out the Billie Jean as marketing. I want to build this part out specifically to Billie Jean as marketing. And that's it. So we're about to wrap up anyway, Regina. But I just want to say much love, guys. And I really appreciate you being on this team. I'll invite you to the other group and then we'll just start building from there. Cool. And if anybody has any questions, if anybody has any questions, they can post them at askfredsmith.com and then I'll get it. And then from there, they can let me just give you the website real quick. askfredsmith.com. Okay. Then they can ask me anything there. I have highly curated questions. Let's just go into there real quick and then we'll hop off.
Okay.
Was this helpful, y'all?
Yeah, it was. It was. I mean, like, man, it's like it's just like bar after bar after bar after bar. You had a whole song by the time this hour passed.
Nah, I appreciate it, brother. www. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it's on my side too.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
right. Okay, no worries. Let me give it a direct Kajabi link because I probably didn't forward it. Because I've been working so fast behind the scenes, guys, just to get a lot of stuff up. Because I already know what's going to happen once we work this right. It's going to seriously go fucking stupid. It always does. Okay, it did come up. It's a little bit slower. Kajabi.com. Ask. Oh shoot.
And the crazy thing is, a lot of the stuff that you talked about too, it's not just to like, oh, I heard it once, I understand it. It's just like you said, like you have to do it to become the person who it makes sense for.
Yeah, definitely. Well, and again, I always want to hear your direct feedback because that's critical to really making sure that the messaging is never off. So that's the direct link right there. I'll just check it to make sure that it forwards. Ultimately, I did get another go high level. I have to do some other stuff on the background for that, but I'll go into more of the detail of what I'm doing so you can understand why I'm building it the way that I'm building it specifically. Because I also want to be able to automate this with AI, Demisha, like we talked about over Billie Jean. So there's a lot of things that I'm working on that's very unique right now, and I have signed my life away on certain things and not talk about specific sources. So it is what it is, guys. You know. So, but I did say in exchange for that, though, I'll be more than happy to just share it with certain people, and you guys are it. So, definitely, I treat I love you like brothers and sisters. And again, remember, you have your own genius that we're working to do as well. I'm going to also send you to the page. Just like and share the page, and because I really want to get the right people there, and you're going to actually watch me literally whittle down everything to practically zero because my goal was, and I told these guys back this in 2020, it's here. I want to have 5,000 real curated, vetted people on my timeline. Because the max that you have is 5,000. And the reasons why is because you're not really supposed to be marketing and advertising on your main on your personal page. You're supposed to be marketing and advertising on your professional page or like the Facebook pages. So I use that strictly for data information. I got some insane marketers that some of you guys know on there. I mean, I'm like, how do we even become friends? And someone watched my stuff and like, yeah, I like that, blah blah blah. Like, how did you become my timeline? Like, I know who you are. I got your book. It's crazy.
Yeah, remember that.
Yeah. It's and then he's not the only one. Me and Matt Fury, I did something with Matt Fury that I still need to get back with him. He did psycho-cybernetics, and people know him as you can literally, Namisha, Google the what's it, the guru of the internet or something, the Tao of the internet or something. Anyway, when I say it, I'll post it, but um what I was just my main point in saying that though, guys, was that we all have that superpower in us. We just have to build into it and show people a certain way. That's my whole thing. Like these guys are normal people, they get up just like us, but the difference is in how they market it, distribute, package it, and distribute it out that one message. So
Okay.
All right.
That's fire.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. We'll chat soon, y'all.
Okay.
All right,
Alrighty, y'all.
Y'all stay safe.
Bye.
Take care.
Peace.